The Salvation Army Employment Plus acknowledges the traditional owners of the land on which this audio series is recorded. We do advise that this podcast deals with sensitive topics and is intended for mature audiences only, so please see the episode notes for content warnings and useful resources.
At the time, being a first-time mum, you don't know what to expect, when to expect it, and at 25 weeks, I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I was like, no, something just doesn't feel right. So I rang the emergency department and they said that I would be delivering my babies that day.
Welcome to Life Changing Choices, brought to you by the Salvation Army Employment Plus. Today I'm joined by Chloe, an impressive young woman whose knowledge and wisdom belies her 24 years of life. All of Chloe's 3 young children arrived early and spent time in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU as it's known. Join us in hearing her first-hand account, her unwavering bravery, and how it's inspired her to chase a career centred on supporting and caring for children. Today I've got Chloe with me. Chloe and I first met in November last year. Chloe was one of the new participants of the Parent Pathways program up in the Hunter region. Nice to see you, Chloe. How's everything been with you? You've got a young family.
Yeah, it's been chaotic, but I mean, what isn't with 3 kids under 6?
That's right. We met, you were actually coming in for your first initial appointment at E+, and you had the gorgeous little Declan with you.
It's gone so fast the last 2 years. It's like I've just blinked and he's 2.
He's very cute. He sort of won me over.
He's still winning the girls over now. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
And an amazing smile. And you've got Taylor and Madison as well.
Yes.
Brilliant. And those girls are 5, and
yeah,
all 3 of your kids have been through the NICU unit, haven't they? That sounds like a neonatal intensive care unit.
Yep. I don't think any mum, let alone partner to the mum, would ever expect to end up in NICU. It's definitely something that I wouldn't wish on anyone. But it also shows you the strength you and your partner have.
Yeah, because it's amazing. I think we have the pleasure of meeting so many parents through the Parent Pathways program. But like anything, everyone's journey in life is really different. And I guess one of the things that we love to focus on is the fact that not everyone's journey into parenthood is the same. And that's drastically altered when you have a tiny baby that's relying on a machine to survive.
It definitely is. Like, you have good days, you have bad days, and then you just think, was it my fault, like, that they're in NICU because I had preterm babies? I had the girls at 28 weeks, had NICU for 65 days in total. And then I don't want to go through it again, but if I've got to, I know what I'm doing this time. The second time around, it was a lot easier because I knew the staff. The staff hadn't changed, and they actually remembered us as a family with the girls and our journey with the girls, and it was just like a second home away from home. Like, it was amazing. The nurses up there, they don't get half of the credit that they should.
I want to go back to that moment when you found out that the girls were coming really early at 28 weeks and how you felt at that moment.
Mark and I hadn't been together for long when we found out we were pregnant, but both Mark and I, we have this, you know what, if it happens, it happens. It's meant to be. Telling mum, I think, was the hardest part because mum was also 25 weeks pregnant with my youngest brother. And I was just so scared to tell mum because I was only just turned 18 and she was pregnant with my brother, who's now the girl's age. And I didn't know how to tell mum. And I remember when I went and told my auntie, she's like, next time, tell me that you have cancer first. It'll be a better letdown. But the second time round when we were pregnant with Declan, that was a different story there. I was high risk for quite a lot of other health issues due to my family. And then everything was going really well. And at 25 weeks, it was Australia Day. And I was struggling quite a lot with the heat. And I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with a bit of pain, and I was like, no, something just doesn't feel right. So I rang MADU, which is the essentially like the emergency department for pregnant women. They said, okay, come in. It's just probably a UTI, just playing up with your body. And it turned out that I was actually 2 centimeters dilated, and they said that I would be delivering my babies that day.
Wow.
Um, so I was 25 exact. They put me around to into a birthing suite just in case things went south. But it was just the initial shock of, okay, we're going to be going to NICU. Then the next, what happened was is we had some doctor come in, and I had to sign paperwork for if there was an emergency, I'd be willing to have an emergency Caesar. I had to give consent to blood transfusions if I needed it. Like, I just couldn't keep up mentally with all the paperwork. And then they come in, they gave me some steroids to try and help the babies with their lung development. They gave me a shot of morphine to try and slow down the labour process. And then pretty much they told me from there on I wouldn't be going home.
Yeah.
And for the next 3 weeks, I was back and forwards from the delivery suite to the ward, back to the delivery suite, back to the ward. It was at the point where the nurses made sure that there was a wheelchair in my room at all times because I wasn't allowed to walk.
So you're still pregnant at this stage, and you spend
Yep.
3 weeks in hospital pregnant, hoping that it doesn't progress.
Pretty much, yep. They were trying to keep labour at bay to try and stop it so my waters wouldn't break. I had them at 28 weeks. It was quite quick when it all happened. At the time, being a first time mum, you don't know what to expect, when to expect it. I got probably about a meter away from a nurse, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, my waters just broke." And I just felt the gush down my legs, and I had a puddle of water at my feet. I'm like, yeah, I think my waters broke. And then the next minute, I was just crying. I was, what's gonna happen? Like, my babies are coming. Mark's not here, because he literally left not even an hour before all this had happened. So he got home, he had dinner, he jumped in the shower. I literally rang him as he was jumping out of the shower, putting his clothes on. I'm like, you need to get here. I'm in labour now. And
Wow.
he beat my mum up to the hospital, and there's not much difference from where mum was living at the time to where we were living at the time. And as I've gone to sit down on the bed, my second water's broke. So I was half over my bed, half over the floor. So at this time, I feel really bad for the cleaner because the cleaners had to clean both my waters up and had to clean the bed once it come back, sort of thing.
I think it's really interesting just to stop there because you say both your waters, and because the girls were in different embryonic,
So
is it
they're
sacs?
twins that are called DCDA for short. I can never pronounce a big pronunciation to it. So pretty much DCDA twins are separate sacs, separate placentas. So
Yeah.
essentially it's two pregnancies in one.
Wow. Wow.
So
Okay.
I ended up having an emergency Caesar with them, but they did try to let me go natural, but Taylor being Taylor, she was just absolutely stubborn and just didn't want to come out that way. So she ended up coming out through the belly. They waited for Mark to come in before they put the spinal tap in, and then they put the spinal tap in, and before I knew it, the kids were born. Now we've got to like pretty much race them around to NICU to start their journey there. And I didn't get the first skin to skin. I didn't get any of that. And I see my friends who've had Caesars, and they get to hold their babies straight up
Hmm.
and all that sort of thing. And it does hurt.
Yeah.
Like, but I try not to show that to them either. Like, I'm so grateful for the medical terminology, like technology and everything that we've got these days. But just that first skin to skin, I got I missed out on. So I didn't get to bond with them until I think they were 2 weeks old.
Yeah. Must be incredible to see the babies out, but then not be able to hold them against you for 2 weeks.
It was so hard. They put me in a room with 3 other mums with their babies. I was the only one in the room without a baby. And it was getting me quite upset. Mum could see it, Mark could see it, and they're like, we've got to do something. Like, they can't keep doing it. And it wasn't just me that they did it to. They did it to another two mums that had sets of twins that were in NICU. They did the exact same thing to them.
Yeah.
So they ended up moving me in the end into a different room.
Hmm.
And then I got discharged, and well, it was looking like we were coming to the end of the tunnel. I think by the time they were like 33 weeks.
Hmm.
So we left the special care unit at 10 p.m. I got home, we had dinner. I was just about to express, and they rang me. Hey, so we've had to put Maddie back on CPAP. She's gone downhill a little bit. Just thought we'd give you a ring and just let you know so you're not like what's happened overnight.
Oh.
I said, yep.
What's CPAP? What's that? So is that
I,
little thing that you see over their mouths and it's sort of like oxygen?
yeah,
Yeah, like little breathing cup that goes
yeah,
over their mouths. Yeah, got it.
yeah.
So it's oxygen but helping them breathe too.
Yeah, so the pressure keeps their lungs open so they're able to breathe.
Gotcha. Wow.
Um,
Wow. And
and
that's five
then
weeks in that you're getting that news.
so we worked so hard to get them off the CPAP, and then just to get the news that she's gone back on, it was like a kick in the stomach.
Hmm.
So then I said to him, okay, if she goes downhill again, just ring me, let me know. And then I got a phone call about 2:45 in the morning, and it startled me and woke me up. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? They said, no, we don't know what's going on, but Maddie's gone downhill. We've organised an emergency transfer back to John Hunter. So I woke Mark up, told Mark what was going on, and he had work the next morning. And at the time, we were living with his mum and dad. So I went in and I woke mum up. I'm like, hey, mum, I still can't drive at this point because I'm not 6 weeks postpartum.
Mm.
Um, Maddie's had an emergency transfer. Can you take me to hospital? Like, I need to be at Maitland so I can go with her to the John Hunter. And they initially thought she had a twisted bowel.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, all right, well, we'll take an X-ray at 6 a.m. and we'll go from there. Did that, and then she had her emergency transfer, had the X-ray. They come back clear, so they're like, okay, well, we can rule that out, but there's something else going on. So then they ended up having to do 2 spinal taps to her to
Oh
see what was
wow.
going on because they thought it could be meningitis. Still to this day, we don't know whether she had meningitis or onset sepsis. We still, every time we go to a hospital appointment, they still go, what was it? I don't know, you're telling me. Um,
Wow. There's so
so
many
then,
things to think about once they're earthside. Yeah.
and then pretty much, I think it was like maybe a week after, it was the 21st of April, they got to come home. We didn't tell anyone that they were coming home, nothing. So it was a bit of a surprise for everyone that we were living with at the time. Because at the time, like, we were both living with his mum and dad and his brother and his sister, all under one house, under one roof. So everyone was so excited to have the babies under the same
Oh.
roof, and we didn't have to miss out on family night or anything like that. And now, like, you look back at them, and it's like that felt so long, the 65 days,
Yeah.
and it's so worth it. It was so worth it in the end. I am so proud of where the girls have come from.
That's incredible, isn't it, when you see them from these tiny little helpless little things to these big personalities they have now. But then just something you said earlier about, Taylor being Taylor, wanting to want what she wants. You could see those
Taylor
characteristics.
Taylor's like, what she wants, she gets. It's no buts about it. She just wants it, she gets it one way or another. It's like, if you hold on and you actually talk to us, you're gonna get it a lot quicker.
And
And
then you've got
then,
your delightful little boy who also came early,
yeah,
but
so
he.
we went through everything again, and then we got to the 25-week mark, and I hadn't been in hospital, and we're like, yes, this is good. Um, and then we ended up having an emergency Caesar with Declan at 29 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, woke up at, I think it was like 10 to 5 in the morning with contractions, and I thought they were tightening, like your period pain. I'm like, oh, it's okay, like I'll just get through the day, go about it. And Mark could hear me. I'm like in so much pain trying to get through these, what were contractions. I didn't
Mm,
think that they were, but they were. And it come to uh, 2 in 10 minutes. We rang the hospital, and I couldn't talk through these contractions at this point. And they're like, whatever you need to do it now. By the time I got off the phone to the midwife, Mark had already rang the girls across the road to mum and dad's, and they all knew we were coming. They actually had two doctors on standby and my team ready to go just in case. They took me straight around into a room, done an internal again, and they're like, yep, you're 2 centimeters dilated. So the PTSD come back again from the girls, what happened with the girls. But this time they actually let me labour. And I've actually never
yeah.
really asked the question, why did they let me labour with
Mm-hmm.
Declan, but they tried to stop the labour with the girls. And then I think it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. My waters broke, and then they put me on the gas, and then Declan went into bradycardia, which caused me to have a Caesar. And because of my back issues, I refused to have anything in my back. Like from the get go, I said to them, I don't want spinal taps. I don't want an epidural. Like they're the least of my worries right now. I don't want any of that. So then when they sent me around for emergency Caesar, they needed to get Declan out. So they would have knocked me out anyway because
Mm-hmm.
of how quickly they needed to get him out. So then he went around to NICU, went onto CPAP. I got to see him on CPAP. So I think it was like an hour after he was born. I got to go around and see him for a little bit. His NICU journey was pretty smooth sailing. But they were still in COVID restrictions, so no family members, no
Mm.
visitors, nothing like that. So I was like, oh, okay, like this is going to be a hard one because of the girls, but it's going to be easy because I don't need visitors. And then pretty much he was smooth sailing. Like everyone argued about whether they would take Declan or not because he was just such a smooth baby. Um, he come early. He needed the CPAP support, and that was about it, literally. And then we got a transfer at 32 weeks from John Hunter to Maitland Hospital again.
So
Um,
he spent 4 weeks at John Hunter and then he went to Maitland.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then pretty much from there on, it was just he was off CPAP, and it was just gaining weight and feeding and getting him up
Yep.
to feeds every 3 hours, and then he was coming home, and he come home on Mark's birthday in October.
Oh, it's lovely.
So then we had him home for Christmas and everything like that, which was really good. And his journey in total was 50 days. We left on the 50th day. Um, no one knew that he was coming home. The only person that actually knew was my mother in law because she had to help me do certain things without Mark knowing and stuff. So
Oh,
she,
you made it a surprise.
yeah,
That's
so
gorgeous.
with Mark's birthday, he doesn't really enjoy his birthday because we buried his nan on his birthday, coming up to 4 years now.
Hmm.
So he doesn't really enjoy his birthday as much, but bringing him home on his birthday, it just, you could see it, just the joy that he had was so good. I wasn't
That's
even
so
allowed to.
lovely.
I wasn't even allowed to hold Declan for that night. He's like, "Nope, I'm doing it. Nope, I'm doing it," sort of thing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it was so good just to be home.
I just remember meeting him and him being such a smiler. And I just remember being amazed when I met you in November that you were already looking for opportunities for education and training and stuff yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to be able to show my girls whatever gets put in front of you, you deal with, but you also try and figure it out to be able to do other things around it.
So that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about today was you mentioned earlier on feeling like someone was casting judgment at you for being 18 and having a baby, right? But here I am meeting you, and you've gone through three babies in NICU. Declan at that stage was still very little, and you were popping into this new program at Parent Pathways and trying to suss out what you wanted to do. And I know you, when you originally came in, you were thinking about doing pathology. That's what you were quite keen to do, because I know in addition to your own children, you had other people that have been unwell that you've cared for.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I did go into the aged care sector for a little while after I had the girls. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong on that, but I didn't enjoy it because it was the end of life.
Mm.
You've got the family to deal with, you've got the resident to deal with, but then when it's palliative, you've also got their friends and family coming in to say their goodbyes. It's very heavy with emotions, and I couldn't do it.
It's important to know when you're not in the right headspace to do something like that, because obviously there are wonderful people that do, but equally the area that you're interested in going into long term is children's pathology. Not a lot of people want to stand there and try and get a needle into a kid, because that takes a different kind of patience.
Well, I've got it. I've got a friend who does pathology, and she refuses to do kids because they move so much.
Mm.
And I have found, because we did have a little hurdle with Taylor with her health, and we needed blood tests done for her. There's not a lot of people in the region that will take blood for kids. In the last 6 months, there's been a pathology that's opened at Charlestown, and they specialize in kids.
So good.
So that's where everyone recommends going because they've worked with kids for so long.
And that's what you wanted to do, but when you went to do the training, you found the
It, it
timing wasn't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. So with the training side of things, it starts at 6 p.m. in the afternoon and finishes at 8 p.m. And there's a crossover period where I'd have to leave and there's no one to look after the kids.
That is like 6 p.m. at night with anyone that's got young kids. It's like
It's just
the witching
not
hour.
doable because at 6 o'clock they're having dinner, they're having a shower, they're getting ready to go to bed, sort of
They're
thing.
very tired. Yeah, it's the
And they
end of
just
their
want their
day.
mum at that point. They're like, no, we don't want dad, we just want mum.
So rather than not doing the pathology training, you are putting that on ice. So
I
you've
am
got a
putting
bit of
that one.
time.
I am putting that part on hold, but I'm still working with kids. I'm doing my Cert 3 in school-based support. So I know up in New South Wales where we are, back when I was in primary school, we would call them teachers' aides. So it's just going into primary school or even high school and just helping the teachers out with kids that need that extra support. And I've been doing my work placement for the last 4 weeks, I think now. And I'm loving it.
Yeah. You say
Like,
that, that working end of life is really emotional, and I agree with you. It's not for everyone, but I also think not everyone wants to work with kids, and I think you're amazing that you do. You love
exactly.
kids.
Like, if you asked me, 4 years ago, where would I be today? I wouldn't even be saying I'd be working in a school with kids.
Mm.
There's no way. I send my kids to school to get away from them, not to go to school to look after more kids. But
It's different.
the first week, I was kind of like, where do I start? What do I do? And now that I'm getting to know the classroom, the students, it's been so, so good. Like, even speaking to the other staff has been amazing.
And how has the Parent Pathways program helped you get into that?
I started the course back in February. Before starting the work placement, I needed my working with children's check, my NDIS check, my police check, so that and being a mum of three, you don't have money to throw around. Just here, let's have a police check. Here's the money. Here's this for the NDIS check. Here's this for this, children's check. So I was really lucky. I've gotten a really good mentor, Tim, and he's gone above and beyond to help me out with whatever I need.
Has the
My
Parent
police
Pathways
check.
program been able to pay for those things?
Yes, so Tim has helped me with my police check, my working with children's check, my NDIS check. So that is one less stress for me because financially I wouldn't have been able to do it.
But that's the kind of thing that the Pathways program can cover.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think it's really good for parents to be able to get out and to speak to someone when, you know, like I've had a lot of PTSD with the girls. I've had postnatal depression, and no one in my family or around me has had the NICU journey that I've had to go on. So it's so hard to speak to someone about how you feel and all that. It's like being a stay-at-home mum. You don't have many friends, and being able to go out to the, to the appointment with Tim, or just to even to the office, you've you've always got someone there that's being able to go, okay, how can I help you today? Just someone that says that it's okay, like there are people here that can help me.
It's great, isn't it? Like, it's an extra layer of support that's available for parents that qualify for the program. And like you say, there's some financial things that it can cover if it's working towards training or employment or enabling you to go to training or employment. But also, yeah, that contact.
That is one thing that I do want to try and start, is a young mums support group. There are quite a lot of young mums that go through the NICU journey that don't realize what resources they have and what they can reach out to, who they can reach out to.
That's lovely. You are an incredibly motivated person, and you just amaze me about what you have gone through in the last 4 years, what you continue to do, and how positive your outlook is.
Even my nan, she said to me the other day, geez, you're doing a good job. Like, you got 3 kids, you're about to start work placement, and you got 3 kids. And I actually had to take a minute and go, geez, Nat was actually right about this, like
You are doing a good
I've
job.
taken on so much over the last, 5 years that you wouldn't expect. And if you asked me 5 years ago, would I be in the position I'm in? I would say absolutely not. I would not work with kids.
Yeah.
But now it's completely changed. I'll hands down, and every day if I could, I would go and do my work placement there.
That's so
I've
nice.
actually had the principal of the school approach me and say, hey, like, how long left do you have of work placement? After the 7 weeks, you'll have your certificate, right? So then we can get you in for casual days. I'm like, yeah, you can hire me full time if you want. And there's a lot of the staff that are about to go on maternity leave. So I'm hoping that they may go, hey, like, you've just finished your certificate. Do you want to take on the maternity position for here?
That's
And
exciting.
I'm really excited to work with more kids.
It's really inspiring, and I think you're a remarkable young woman. And I can only say that because I'm twice your age. But I think that it's incredible what you've done. And I just want to thank you for taking the time amongst all your busy schedule for chatting with me about your experiences in NICU and sharing with me. I'm happy to have you here today.
Thanks, Fee.
If any of the content in this audio recording has raised issues or concerns for you, help is available. Please refer to the list of useful resources in the episode notes. The Salvation Army and Employment Plus help people from all walks of life with all sorts of challenges. And this includes helping people turn their lives around through finding great work. If you'd like to know more about employment or training opportunities, please call 136 123 or visit employmentplus.com.au.